Hey guys, today I'll be talking to you about a problem that desperately needs to be addressed. That problem is dioxin pollution. Now, most of you listening probably have never heard of dioxin. That's terrible because, according to scientists, it's the main reason for the obesity epidemic, which is huge. So, what exactly is dioxin? Dioxin is a group of highly toxic chemicals that are byproducts of industrial processes such as incineration and paper bleaching. And what makes dioxin harmful is when we breathe in dioxin, it stays in our body for like lifetimes, literally, and it interferes with our hormones, and it also interferes with the production of RNA inside our cells, which often leads to cancer and deformities. Dioxin has caused millions of deaths worldwide since the first recorded case of it, which is the Great Smog of Britain. The Great Smog of Britain lasted from the 5th of December to the 9th of December 1952. And it occurred because when a buildup of dioxin in a coal mining burning facility was released in the air, it caused a thick fog to cover the whole entire city. It caused 10,000 people in Britain to fall ill, and it caused 4,000 people to die prematurely. A thick fog covered the city, which destroyed the respiratory tract of anyone who breathed the fog in. And the thick fog made it impossible to see farther than a couple of meters, which basically made it impossible to drive. All media was cancelled for those 4 days, including soccer games, theaters. Another more recent case of dioxin pollution was the Irish pork crisis that occurred on December 2008. There was a dioxin contamination incident that led Ireland to recall all pork products produced by Ireland from September to December of that year. It caused over $10 million to be wasted, as pork is one of Ireland's biggest exports. Within days, thousands of jobs were lost or under threat because of the incidents. Butchers went on strike until they were able to get financial compensation. The pork supply of 23 countries were affected. On December 8, 2008, they took samples of pork and found out that the dioxin levels were over 400 times what is safe for one person to consume. Another significant event of dioxin was the animal poisoning of Germany. The incident began when fatty acids for a biodiesel company was mixed with vegetables used to feed farm animals. It eventually ended up in the systems of pigs and hens. Because of this, not only the farm pigs and hens had higher dioxin than what was allowed by European law, but also the offspring of those hens and pigs had higher doses of dioxin than what was allowed by European law. An undisclosed amount was shipped to Netherlands, and 14 tons was shipped to England. Tests before the alert was issued to the European authorities showed that the fat of the feed contained 77 times more than the proved amount of dioxin for a human being to consume. Due to Europe's highly complicated food supply and trade process, it was really hard to trace these contaminated foods and which products were contaminated, which ones were. So why is this such a big problem? Well, dioxin is one of the most toxic toxins and affects 100% of the world population. The EPA did a study in which they took 1,000 people and gave them air without dioxin for their whole life. Then they exposed them to dioxin. Within the next year, all 1,000 of them gained some form of a health problem they did not have prior to that. 100 of them got lung cancer. Another 100 of them became overweight or obese. TCDD is the most toxic type of dioxin. It is 130 times more toxic than arsenic. In India, 80% of the population has TCDD in their system. The average American takes about 300 to 600 times what is safe. Average infant takes about 1,000 times what is safe, and is believed to cause more than 100,000 deformities annually. Now, you might still be wondering, what exactly dioxin does to your body scientifically. The chemical structure of polychlorinated dibenzodioxide, or dioxin, consists of two benzene rings, C6 and H5, joined together by two oxygen bridges, with chlorine attached to eight different places on the structure. Depending on where the chlorine is placed, the toxicity of the type of dioxin will change. It acts through a receptor in all cells that is responsible for expression of genes. It is a transcription factor, a protein that binds to DNA sequences, controlling the rate at which the segment of DNA is copied into RNA. So, for example, if it binds to a fat cell, it can cause it to replicate in odd ways, changing the genetic coding of the cell, which makes you produce an abnormal amount of fat cells, which increases your obesity chances. If it binds to sex cells, it causes deformities, such as when they in Vietnam they polluted the air with dioxin, and it caused deformities. If it binds to it can bind to any cell to cause cancer, and change the way your body acts to biological responses, such as the way your hormones reacts during puberty. So, how has population growth affected dioxin pollution? Well, as an example, I'll use India. India's population has been growing at a rapid rate. In fact, it will soon overtake China. But not only has India's population been growing, but so has its dioxin levels. In fact, they've been growing at a very similar rate. I think this is because the more people you have, the more products are being consumed. The more products are being consumed, the more dioxin pollution there is. So I predict that since India's population is becoming a bit of a crisis, so will its dioxin levels. So what can you do to help this problem? Well, one, you can recycle wooden or plastic materials, as these are probably the main source of dioxin. Or if you don't have any place to recycle, you can get a reusable water bottle.